Hello, 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 fight fans. It is Alec Carr. I am going solo as of right now. Dustin might be joining me in a little bit. Unfortunately, Monique could not join us. Had a last second thing she had to do. But that's okay. We don't have a huge thing to talk about this week. Pretty decent fight card, a headline. Hasn't been much going on in the wide world of MMA. So we are just going to. I'm just going to go through some of the stuff and give my wonderful, because I know how much everybody loves to hear me talk. So give my wonderful takes on everything. Quick plugs, as always, guys. You can find me at Alec Carr MMA. I was just on an awesome podcast with Corey from Boncourt. Please make sure you guys go take a look at that. Like I always say, if you're looking to get in an argument about something stupid related to sports or just related to anything, I'm your guy. So make sure you go ahead and follow me. You guys can also find us on Twitter at FightsUSN, as well as on Instagram. And our YouTube channel, where you're probably watching this, is Fights Unwrapped. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so that you get all the little reminders of when we're coming on. And then, as always, guys, you can find all of us at Unwrapped Sports Network. It's a great sports network that brought people like Monique, Dustin, and I together so that we could create this fantastic content I know that all of you look forward to. So just make sure you guys follow, like, and subscribe, all of those things. Real quick, we're going to dive into our sponsors. Make sure you guys check out rxhemp.com. Oh, wrong thing. Hold on. Doesn't look like it's here, but guys, make sure you check out rxhemp.com. They make some wonderful CBD creams, ointments, and all kinds of different things. I use the stuff almost after every workout, before workouts, when I'm laying around, sleep funny on my back. It's absolutely incredible. Make sure you check it out and use promo code RXHemp-USN to get 10% off your entire order. And then make sure you visit mybookie.ag today. We do have a fight card this weekend, so make sure if you're placing your bets, you're doing on mybookie.ag and use promo code 100 to get 100% sign-up bonus. Again, that's a 100% sign-up bonus with USN 100 on mybookie.ag today. All right, I'm gonna jump right into it, guys. We got to talk Conor McGregor. I know we haven't on this stream spoken about Conor McGregor lately. We've kind of tried to wait until TUF, which is premiering tonight. So I know I'm pumped for that. I can't wait to see Conor on the TUF with Michael Chandler. We're hearing all kinds of rumors about crazy shit going on. Conor may or may not have knocked out Michael Chandler. I don't think that's the case. That would be crazy. He definitely pushed him, because we all saw the video, which is insane. But there's a lot of people rumbling around saying Conor McGregor is out of shape. And this all starts with his videos, right? Guys posting videos of him partying in Monaco, going to the Formula One, going to clubs, going to all kinds of different events that don't have to do with training for fighting. Meanwhile, Michael Chandler's posting videos of him in the gym, working out, getting ripped, getting toned, getting ready for the fight, which has yet to be announced. Apparently, it will be announced at some time during TUF, so I assume that's coming shortly. But a lot of people on MMA Twitter are just saying Conor McGregor's out of shape. He's an alcoholic. He's a cokehead. We've heard this story before. Lots of people have said it. They've been saying it for a long time. And he's gonna lose to Michael Chandler. The people are really saying two things, right? He's gonna lose to Michael Chandler, and he should just retire and quit. Or if Michael Chandler loses, it means that means Conor McGregor is a bum. That means Michael Chandler is a bum, and Michael Chandler should just retire and quit. First of all, you can't have it both ways. Neither of these guys are bums. Is Conor McGregor the same fighter he used to be? Absolutely not. $1 billion will do that to you, though. I don't think it's because he's old. I don't think it's because he's out of shape. I don't think it's because he's partying too much. I just think he has way too much fucking money. He doesn't know what to do with it. And as soon as he gets hit in the face, he goes, why the hell am I in this octagon? I think we saw it versus Dustin Poirier. And I'm hopeful we won't see it again versus Michael Chandler. And then you got Michael Chandler on the other side, who has, I think, almost every single fight he's been in since getting to the UFC has been fight of the night. He's bonused out almost every single time. He's only fought the best of the best. He's had very close fights with all the elites at 155. So I don't know how he's a bum. So people got me a little bit baffled on this. These are both really good fighters. Conor McGregor's, like I said, is not at the top of his game, but these are both extremely good fighters. Apparently, the fight might be at 170. We'll see. I assume they're going to announce the weight when we hear the announcement. I, for one, don't care if it's at 170, 155. To be honest, at this point in Conor's career, the heavier he is, the better, because he doesn't have to cut weight. Michael Chandler at 170 is really interesting if he decides to stay there because he feels comfortable. He's a little short for the 170 division, but I don't know. He's a big guy, so even though he's short, he's very wide. He looks very heavy. He looks like he probably weighs around 200 before he cuts to 155, or at least probably, if not 200, 190, 195. Conor McGregor looks like he's weighing around, last he reported was 185, but it looks like he's weighing around, again, 190, 195, 200 too. So 170 is really interesting to me. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. I, for one, hope it is at 170. I don't think for Conor's sake, I don't think it makes any sense for him to keep fighting at 155. First of all, that division is fucking stacked. I know some people are calling it a weak division, but that's absolutely insane to me when you have fighters like Islam, Do Bronx, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Beneil Dariush, Michael Chandler, Rafael Fiziev, Gamrot, Arman Sarkisian, Jalen Turner, Dan Hooker, Ismagulov. Should I go on? Like there's so many guys here, and then there's even a lot of guys that are unranked. The welterweight division is not as stacked as that. You have obviously the champ, Leon Edwards. You got Kamaru Usman, who's probably closer to retirement than he is fighting another 2 or 3 fights. You have Colby Covington, who you guys know how I feel about him. I think he's extremely overrated. You have Khamzat Chimaev, who is a problem, but the UFC, for whatever reason, will not book him. But he is an absolute problem, probably the future champ of the division. Then you got Gilbert Burns, who's very good as well. You have and then Shavkat, who's an absolute stud. Same thing with Khamzat. I think Khamzat and Shavkat will eventually fight for the title. Jeff Neal, who's underrated but still not great, not going to be a great fighter. Sean Brady, Vicente Luque, Neil Magny, Chiesa, Gary, showing lots of promise. So the welterweight division is not as stacked as the lightweight division. Now, that being said, I'm not calling it a weak division by any means of the term. I'm just saying it would be an easier route if either of those guys wanted to be champion. Not that I think either of them can, but that would be the easiest way to go. Now, I need to address these things flying around about Conor. I was a Conor fanboy. I'll admit it. I'm a recovering Conor fanboy. I have since fallen off. I still love watching him fight. I love what he does for the sport. The guys, and I mean, this Chandler fight's probably going to do over 1 million PPV buys for sure. So he brings eyeballs everywhere he goes. But this whole thing that he's partying, he's out of shape, he's an alcoholic, he's a cokehead. I saw somebody post pictures of Conor when he was not even like champion yet next to a photo of him now, and they're like, look how crappy he looks. Well, this is what alcoholism does to you. And guys, he's getting older. He got punched in the face for a living. I'm not going to sit here and call him a cokehead or an alcoholic. I think a lot of that is an act. You know, you see all these crazy videos of him dancing and drinking and whatnot, but then occasionally you see a video of him interacting with fans at Disney with his family there. He's giving people handshakes, hugs, spending time with his fans, spending time with his family. And we all know Conor loves to be the heel, and these videos are just heel videos. You also look at him; he looks like he's in fucking incredible shape. An alcoholic and a cokehead does not look like that. As someone who has experience with alcoholism and drug abuse, cokeheads and alcoholics do not look like that. Period. It doesn't matter how hard they train. So I just think that's absolutely outrageous. He's not the same Conor, but it's not because of the drinking and the drugs. It's more because of the money, guys. It's the money. We're talking about a guy that, if you include all of his assets, might be worth $1 billion. He's got no reason to go in the octagon, yet he can't not because he loves the sport. So please continue trashing him and saying what you will about, you know, him being an alcoholic and a cokehead. I think your energy is best spent elsewhere, especially if you want to spend energy critiquing Conor McGregor. You should critique him on his what people are accusations and the way he acts towards women, allegedly, and all of that stuff. The guy's a gamer, though. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to lose because he's a drunk. I'm not going to say he's going to lose because he's a cokehead. First of all, none of us know that. We're just seeing videos of him partying and drinking. He's not posting videos of him in the gym. He's clearly there. If you look at him, Conor McGregor lives in the gym. Kavanaugh used to say he had to kick him out because he wouldn't leave. I, for one, am picking Conor against Michael Chandler. I think if we see him, he reportedly is going back to his karate stance. He's got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in his camp. He is training like crazy. If it's at 170, I think he has a clear advantage. That being said, if Michael Chandler decides to wrestle, it's probably game over. But Michael Chandler doesn't do that for some reason in the UFC. He used to do it in Bellator a lot, but he doesn't do it in the UFC. He's just trying to get those $50,000 checks, I think. And he's gotten a shit ton of them, so I don't blame him. If he gets drawn into a striking match, Conor's going to counter the shit out of him, and he's not going to have a chance. So, and I think that's where we see this go. This fight is being built up. It's highly anticipated, even though it hasn't been. Think about this. Conor hasn't fought since Dustin Poirier, and he has so much fucking pull. This is the most highly anticipated fight all year, and we don't even have a date yet. That's the kind of pull Conor McGregor brings you. So win, lose, I don't care that much, but I'm going to be tuning in. I can't wait to watch TUF tonight. It's going to be absolutely exciting. And without further ado, like I said, we only really have one headline. There's not too much to talk about. I'm not going to spend time talking about Izzy and Pereira running into each other at the airport and all these crazy conspiracy theories going around about it. because that sounds stupid. I'm not going to spend time with about Chael Sonnen's ridiculous claims about Leon Edwards. If I spend time reporting on Chael Sonnen, who's a professional troll, that's a waste of everyone's time. So we're just going to dive right into UFC Vegas 74. To me, this is a really low-key good card. A lot of people are critiquing it like they did 2 weekends ago, the Mackenzie Dern card, which turned out to be one of the most exciting fight cards of the year. Yeah, not a lot of, Mackenzie Dern's win is going to propel her into serious contention. But other than that, not a lot of stuff happened in terms of the rankings, in terms of who's coming up next. Maybe if you want to say Alex Hernandez's fight will propel him. I would kind of agree with you there. But there's not a lot. And there's not going to be a lot with the rankings in this one either. But it is an exciting card. We got a lot of things to talk about here. On the prelims, you guys know I love doing my prelim shout-outs. I love it, I love it, I love it. So let's just pull those up real quick. First of all, we have Damon Blackshear versus Luen, which will be a pretty exciting fight. We have Muhammad Naimov versus Jamie Mullarkey. Muhammad Naimov is really underrated. Not a lot of people know him. He's 5'1". Guy's a really good fighter, fighting against Jamie Mullarkey. That's going to be an exciting fight. We have Andre Arlovski still in the UFC, apparently, and on the prelims, that's really sad. That's an indicator that he should probably just retire. Love you to death, Andre, but it's over, man. It's over. And then headlining the prelims is one that should be on the main card, Daniel Santos versus Johnny Muniz. That is a very exciting card. I do not know why it's on the prelim. But that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the main card. We have, like I said, we have, sorry. Apogar Nurmagomedov versus, I don't want to butcher this. I'm sorry. Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. This is a pretty fun fight. Santos being 37, Nurmagomedov being 33. And every time we hear that Nurmagomedov name, we think Sambo, we think wrestling, we think fun. So I'm really excited for this fight. I think Nurmagomedov gets the victory probably by decision. I think he's going to apply that Sambo pressure that we're so used to seeing. And I think he gets the victory here by decision. Okay, we're moving on. We have, of course, ESPN is telling me the wrong fights. And we'll go back to Tapology. Mullarkey versus Naimov has been moved to the main card, which is exciting. So scratch what I said earlier. So we had Jamie Mullarkey, who, he was hyped up to us. And then he fought Jalen Turner and lost. Jalen Turner is an absolute stud, so it doesn't really tell me much. But then he goes on to beat Michael Johnson and Pardo. So Jamie Mullarkey, he's just such a good fighter. He's a great striker. He struggles on the ground, but he's fun to watch. And then you have him against Muhammadjon Naimov, who is 28-year-old. We don't know much about him. He was on Titan FC before coming to the UFC, and Tough Enough before that. But what we get, we see somebody who has pretty well-rounded game. Now, of course, he's not fighting top flight competition, but he does have a pretty well-rounded game. I wouldn't say he's an elite striker, but he can hold his own. And then, of course, he brings that ground, that incredible ground game. It's, I think, name off if he starts to struggle, if the lights start getting too bright. I think what he'll do is probably just shoot the takedown, start bringing pressure, get Mullarkey on the ground. If he wins this fight, this is a pretty big first fight, debut fight for him to get a name like Jamie Mullarkey. So this is really excited. I'm always, you guys know, I love seeing these young guys, these new guys coming into the UFC. It's a chance for them to showcase their talent. So I'm excited to see what he can do. I think he does win. We'll probably get another decision here. So we're starting off the card pretty boring, but I don't think that will be a boring fight. I think it will be fun and exciting. We'll just end in decision. Up next, we got Karine Silva versus Ketlin Souza. Both Brazilians. Karine Silva is 29 years old. Souza is 27. Two up-and-comers. Karine Silva is we talked about her on, I think that was, oh God, was that all the way back to last year? But she put on an absolute show in her UFC fight night with her dark choke win. She is an incredible Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist, really goes after it. And then Ketlin Souza, same thing. She does have a lot more stand-up capability, so it's going to be hard for Karina. I, for one, am picking Karina. I think she's a bigger, better fighter. I think that she can strike, even though she's not an elite striker. She can strike it, and if need be, she will go after it on the ground. And we are going to see, I'm going to call a submission in the second round here for Karine Silva. All right, guys, we're moving right along into Tim Elliott versus Victor Altamirano. I can't wait for this fight. Victor Altamirano put on an absolute show. Versus Salvador. Last time we saw him, Daniel Lacerda, he put that ground and pound, the absolute incredible show in that first round. Victor Altamirano is an exciting fighter on the feet. He's just a good overall fighter, and he brings it every time. And then you have the veteran going up against Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott is, well, he's Tim Elliott. What more can I say? He's pretty all right at everything, not great at anything. I think Victor Altamirano gets this done. I'm going to call a TKO in the third round. I think we see it go to. Victor Altamirano is incredible. It is a fun division, that flyweight division. So we'll see. I love seeing the little guys really go after it. So I can't wait for this fight. It's going to be super exciting. Moving on to, unfortunately, we have Jim Miller, 35-17. You know. Anyway, I'll get into that. You got Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. Jared Flash Gordon is an exciting fighter. We all know what happened against the Paddy Pimblett. Probably should have came away with that victory. And then against Bobby Green, that accidental head clash that happened. Jared Gordon is an exciting fighter. I know he's a little bit older. I know he'll never really contend for a championship. Neither will Jim Miller. So, you know, it is what it is. This is one of those fights that they kind of just throw on into Vegas card. I, for one, would prefer to see Daniel Santos versus Johnny Munoz Jr. I think that would be much more exciting to have the younger up-and-comer fighters than two veterans going at it, because this ultimately means nothing to the division. But this seems to happen, like I said, on every Vegas card. I'm going to go ahead and pick Jared Gordon. I just don't think Jim Miller has it left in him. I don't think he can do it. I don't think his last wins against Donald Cerrone, Nicholas Mata, Eric Gonzalez, losing to Alex Hernandez, which, we just saw Alex Hernandez be an absolute stud. So, Jared Gordon, I just think, has more in the tank right now. Now, if Gordon was fighting Jim Miller like 10 years ago, I'd probably give it to Jim Miller. But unfortunately, this is where we are with Jim Miller. I hope to God he's thinking retirement after this fight. And then we have, going into the next fight, the co-main event of the evening, we have Alex Caceres versus Daniel Pineda. These are two guys, again, this is where this card gets a little weird. Daniel Pineda, coming off of the win against Tucker Lutz. And Alex Caceres versus coming off of the win against Erosa. This is, again, one of those fights that I'm having trouble caring about, guys. Ultimately, neither of these guys will compete. This is when I say I want to see the young up-and-coming fighters, is because you're seeing guys that, we don't really know on these Vegas cards. I really hope the UFC starts doing that more and more, because we know what we're going to get from Daniel Pineda and Alex Caceres. Like, we know how this fight is going to play out. We know everything about these fighters. We've seen them fight a million times. We've seen them every time they step up in competition, they lose. It's just really upsetting. Maybe if Daniel Pineda can get going, I don't know. Alex Caceres looked really good against Erosa. The one thing I will say is these guys bring it every time, so it will be very exciting to watch. I hate it when fights don't mean anything. When fights ultimately don't mean anything for the division they're in, it bothers me. This lightweight division is stacked. Like I said before, this goes 15 deep and then more. Get some young guys on this card, please. That's what we need. And this is, maybe I should throw up my rant of the week, but you've only been listening to me talk, so I'll spare you. But the UFC, if they really want to put, and me and Corey from Boncourt talked about this, the UFC is in the process of putting these other promotions away and make them dead and gone. If they really want to start putting the final nails in the coffin, they have to start promoting youth. Stop putting Jim Miller on fucking headline cards. Stop putting Alex Caceres and Daniel Pineda. Get these guys the fuck out of here. Let them go to Bellator. Let them go to PFL. Let them be the best there. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to bring more eyes because no one gives a shit about them. Just like when Shane Burgos left and went to the PFL, everyone freaked out. Everyone was saying, oh my God, the PFL stole Shane Burgos. I want to know, how many of you fuckers watch a single Shane Burgos fight at the PFL? I bet you there's not many. So that's just, it's just that when people start saying that shit about these veterans going to other promotions, UFC, let them walk. You have so much youth. You have 1,000 fighters on your goddamn roster. Like, let the youth come up, please. God, please. We all need it. We all want it. Even the guys that don't realize it, who love seeing these veteran fights that mean nothing, would love seeing the young talent come up. Promote your young fighters. Look what happens with Sugar Sean O'Malley. You got a superstar. Paddy Pimblett, say what you will against him, but he brings eyeballs. You have all these young fighters coming up. Bo Nickel, like Muhammad Makayev. There's so much youth. UFC, let the youth movement happen. Let it happen. It's here. Now let it happen. Let these young guys come up. Get these fucking veterans who are never going to compete out of the UFC and let the young guys go. This is what you did. You got rid of the old guard when it was Chuck Liddell, Quentin Rampage, Dan Henderson, all these guys. Fuck, even Michael Bisping. You got rid of all these guys. GSP, too. Like, they were old. And you let them walk away. Now, some of them, you let them walk away too late, and viewership dipped. Viewership's dipping right now. Overall, it's the highest it's ever been. I understand that. But from card to card is not the highest. Your Vegas cards get hardly any eyeballs. You want to get eyeballs on them, promote your young fighters. Promote them. Get them on the card and market the shit out of them. It works. I'm going to say they have a 50% success rate. It works almost every fucking time. I just don't understand it. Don't understand it. You got fucking Tim Elliott, Daniel Pineda, and Alex on this, all on the same card in a fucking prelim fight. You got, let's just pull it up real quick. In the prelims, I keep bringing them up because it would be an absolute like a super exciting fight in the bantamweight division, which is absolutely stacked. You got 20-year-old Daniel Gustavo Santos, and 30-year-old Johnny Munoz Jr., both young fighters, both guys who will bring eyeballs. If you promote them, get them on the card. Please. Oh, it just drives me crazy, guys. Drives me crazy. Anyway, usually at this moment is when Monique would take over so I could cool down. But we got to dive right into this main event, which is super exciting. Kai Kara France versus Amir Albazi. Guys, Kai Kara France is, they call him Don't Blink for a reason. Coming off that loss to Brandon Moreno. Before that, beating out Askar Askarov in a shocking. I mean, that shocked me, man. I thought Askar Askarov was on his way to being the best. And then Amir Albazi, the Prince, a guy that is just mowing down everybody in the UFC. I am so fucking pumped for this. I think I said bantamweight before. I meant flyweight. I'm sorry. But these guys are just absolute fucking studs going at it. Both of them can throw. Amir is a little bit better going to the ground. The Prince can take it down to the ground. A little bit. Sorry, he's much better at taking it down to the ground. But I think these guys are going to stand up and they're going to throw. And then as soon as Amir starts getting into a little bit of trouble, because Kai can fucking throw, man. That guy's got so much power for that division. It is nuts. It is nuts. So this fight's going to be so exciting. I got Amir Albazi beating Kai. I just think he's the better overall fighter. If we look at the UFC rankings right now, this does have a lot of ripple effect throughout the flyweight division because Kai is ranked 3rd and you have Amir ranked 7th. So you're going to have Albazi. If he wins, he's going to fucking skyrocket up. I would imagine Brandon Royval goes to 3, and Albazi either goes 4 or 5. So I think this is so exciting. This is the UFC needs to do a better job at not stacking. The flyweight division is stacked, but at promoting this division. They think, Dana White thinks it's boring. He almost got rid of the flyweight division years ago, which would have been so stupid. But this division is incredible. You got Brandon Moreno, Deiveson Figueiredo, Alexander Pantoja, Kai Kara France, Brandon Royval, Mateus Nicolau, Alex Perez, Amir Albazi, Matt Schnell, Manuel Kopp, David Vorak, Muhammad Makayev is shooting up there. Like, this division is so good. Can the UFC please, as a little guy, promote the little guys? They put on exciting shows, man. You got the fastest fighters in the cage. Start promoting them, please. Get their names out there. It's absolutely ridiculous to me that you don't. These fights are so exciting. But anyway, I think Albazi wins by decision. I think that's how we're going to see this fight. A very exciting fight go the distance, and Albizi wins by decision. All right, guys, we got exciting times coming up in the future. June 10th, we have Amanda Nunes versus Aldana. We got Do Bronx versus Dariush on that card. What looked like was going to be an extremely boring card, according to certain people. I don't think it was ever going to be boring. It got names, young fighters, Mike Mala and other young fighters. It's in Canada, so it's got, all these great Canadian fighters on there. Canada's got a huge fighting hub right now, so make sure you guys tune in. We'll be covering that next week. My co-host will be back. We're super excited to bring to see you guys next week and go over to 89. With that, happy fight week, everyone. We'll see you next week.